Doc, obviously after Atlanta, you had hinted at, maybe changing up the starting group. So can you guys speak to moving Kyle in and then kind of how you thought that went, as well as even like that second unit, obviously.
I love the starters because of the size. I thought I loved how we played the first 7 minutes of the game. The ball just flew up the floor. We kind of took Rhino almost off the ball more. And the ball was more in Kuz's and Kuz. I got to come up with the better names than that. And then Giannis is just to try to space the floor with our size. I thought it's the most advanced passes we've had all year. And it was in one quarter, It's funny, we worked on size switching defense, because, when you look at our numbers, and I told our guys that, I told you guys the other day, with Giannis, we're 11th on offense and we're 25th. And so that's the number that has to change. And I thought our size did that.
I guess with that, what went into, going with Jericho in your closing group?
I thought you watched the game, right? You know the answer. I mean, he defends, he's switchable. And I said it the other day, before, he can really pass the ball. He makes great decisions overall. I just thought tonight was his night and you play him.
I think eight or more assists for Ryan and Ous and Giannis. Just what did you see from the ball movement from those guys?
That was it. Only thing I didn't like, I thought the second group, the first stint, didn't move the ball. I thought the ball got stagnant. We went back to that bad brand of dancing and standing in one spot. We didn't score for a while. Then we caught ourselves, and then we got the ball moving again. So, and then that group, the second half, I thought played much better. We instilled Pete with that group because Pete's like our connector, and he did that. So that was good for us.
I guess part of that is Cam not playing. What have you seen from him that?
It's just tonight wasn't the night, and we got a lot of guys that can play. Trent played terrific in the first half for us. We haven't played him in a while. When you got a lot of guys that are close to about the same, you got to pick people, and you have to make your choices. And tonight we went with Pete in the second half.
Particularly with Cam, we had talked earlier about giving him freedom.
Yeah.
Is this trying to rein him back in situation?
No, just if you're playing well, you play. If not, and defensively you have to be good as well. Then you don't play. I don't think anyone has a rite of passage. You know what I mean? And we've told our guys after that Chicago loss, we told them we're going to sit guys, we're going to move guys, and whoever plays right. That doesn't mean they play well, but if you play right, you're going to play.
AJ, I think, just made 2 3-pointers, but they're both after Utah tied the game. Just how do you feel about the way he had?
He just needed to see the ball go in. He had 4 point-blank looks previous to that. He's so tough, between him and Gary. They both are great shooters. But they wasn't going in for him. And then he had 2 in a row to go in. I think for him, that was really important moving forward.
Doc, not as pronounced today as it was on Sunday with the 6 turnovers in the first few minutes of the second half.
Yeah.
But, a little tight maybe coming out of half sometimes his starting lineup.
I don't know why. We've talked about it. I have one of my coaches going out now and watching them to make sure they're moving.
In shoot around before the half?
Yeah. Because this has happened a lot to us. We come out stagnant, slow. It wasn't, I will say this, it wasn't because we were not playing right. We just didn't come out and play well. The difference where in Chicago, I'll give you an example, we just didn't play right. We came out and didn't play the right way. And so that's why you could live with it a little bit more tonight. Maybe that's why it wasn't pronounced as much, because once we got out of it and got some stops, we got to start the second half thinking defense, though. To me, that's the culprit, in my opinion. When we get stops, we get out to playing, we get out to running. It just seems like we ease into the third quarters, and we have to stop doing that.
And first half, once Giannis checks out, second unit struggles to score a bucket for a while. Second half, mostly from Bobby Portis at the start of the fourth quarter. But what was the difference between?
Yeah, I just thought who we had on the floor. I thought Pete Nance moved the ball. We had more ball movers. I thought in the first half, Rhino and those guys, there was 3 in a row that I remember. Rhino and Cam just stayed at the top and just dribbled back and forth. That's no offense I've ever wanted to run. The second half, I thought we got Bobby in the flow. Bobby wasn't even involved in that stretch in the first quarter. So we talked about that at halftime for sure. Ushers and all the arena workers today, they had 2 wins. That's impressive, especially the first win was against UConn and Marquette Warriors. You didn't know where I was going with that, did you? That was pretty cool. So good, really good for all our ushers and great for Shaka. Thanks, guys. Come on, you got to be quicker.